So you step
down
inside,
that hallway here.
and this time without instead of like piles of gold and stuff through the mist.
Yeah.
Did I?
Because the bar's here. And
Yeah.
This is the kitchen, so I have to come around
It and go that way. Yeah. This time instead of there
the good thing about this is that my room is right here, so that basically it looks like I'm just going into my room.
This time instead of there being a mist and like a whole bunch of like treasure piles everywhere, when you step into the room this time, it's actually you walk into a cave. And inside the cave you can see in front of you there is a wide pool of black water. Like pitch black, like you can't see through it water. And above you can see there's a variety of stalagmites hanging and water's dripping into the cave. And you can see that there's a whole bunch of red mist pooling out of the water and curling about.
Is this anything like the mist that was in the bugging bowl after his ritual?
No.
Okay.
That was a rainbow mist.
Mm-hmm.
Is it pulling out of the water?
Just this, yeah, like a geyser kind of.
Oh, okay. But it's not like, it's just kind of coming out. It's not like it's like
no, it's just rolling about.
Oh, okay. Does the pull prevent me from getting to the other side of the cave?
It's just that. It's just the edge and then a whole bunch of, and then a hole in the pool and then there's a cave wall at the back.
Oh. Did I ever learn the name of the guardian?
Azazex.
Oh. Oi! Azazex!
So there's a rumble from beneath, and the water like reverberates a bit, and the ripples spread out, and then coming out of the water there comes this like you see like the briefest hint of this snake-like head just kind of curve the edge of the water, and this wide eye like opens up on the snake-like head, and then goes back down and submerges, just, and then the water like coalesces a bit, and out of the edge of the pool comes this hand that slowly rises up, and then it rises out of the pool like this, and then places a hand on the pool as if it were a solid substance.
Oh, yeah,
and another hand comes up, and Azazex pulls himself up out of the pool, and you can see that there are a variety of the eyes on his arms as before.
Oh,
and
nice.
he pulls himself up like red mist coming off of him, and he pulls himself out. As he pulls himself up out of the pool, you can see that the black water on him starts to turn into gold coins, and it trickles off of him in rivulets and hits the water. And he like pulls himself up, and he goes, "Dadriel."
Yeah,
and
I
he
promised I would be back.
He floats high up into the air, and a jet of red mist just kind of floats up silently and goes, "I see you have returned."
Yes, as promised. There is much to discuss. I like this whole new look thing. Is this like something you do all the time to kind of like create an extra layer of illusion in case someone breaches the room?
I cannot control the room at will. It's more of like my presence here alters it.
Interesting.
Well,
so there is much to discuss, actually.
So he flies over to you and floats around you. Yes?
So, as you might recall, I had mentioned that there might be the possibility of freedom in your future.
You had.
Yes, and I do not forget such promises. These things are important, especially with great beings such as you. So, to move us closer to that, there's a few things we need to discuss. So just earlier today, someone tried to kidnap me and indicated that there was something in this room that would make him whole. And I give him the full description of like everything that happened.
So his eyes get wide as you give him the description. He goes, "Well, that is interesting."
Yes. Does any of that sound familiar?
Yes, it sounds very familiar. And as his ex like flies off and floats in the middle of the pool with the red mist surrounding them, and he goes, "There are many like myself who wish to be made whole by obtaining whatever treasure Hinslet has hidden in his hoard. They are pieces, offshoots of a much more defined aesthetic, heresies of a previously defined theology."
So here's the question I have for you. Is what you would need to make yourself whole present in this hoard?
And he starts to get frustrated a bit, and you can see the red mist grow darker, and he goes, and he breathes out silently, and he goes, "In some ways."
Could you be less cryptic? I would like us to be able to be friends. If you are open with me, believe me, I am a far, far more reasonable negotiator than Henslet may have been. I may be young.
My memory can be a bit hazy, and he pouts a bit as he says this. It's hard keeping things straight when your form is just a mist. Perhaps if you bring me something more solid, I can inhabit.
You know,
we can have a
funny you bring that
discussion.
up. In fact, an opportunity may be coming sooner rather than later. You see, there are some who are curious about this place, and I thought perhaps I might give them a tour, if you know what I mean. And if I understand properly, they would not have the same protection that I do.
These wouldn't be people who desire to become whole, would they?
No, these are simply curious, nosy folks.
Excellent.
So,
I do love nosy people.
so are you indicating that perhaps those who wish to become whole should not be invited in then?
And
Would
he
they compete with you for that which you desire?
he like looks off to the side a bit and then smiles at you.
Hmm. Okay. One other very important point. You indicated before that the piece of the wizard's soul here is the pinnacle of the treasures that Henslet has stored here.
And he looks off and smiles at you again.
I would hate for it to fall into the wrong hands. Perhaps, is it possible to take this item from this room? Perhaps store it inside something more secure, like myself.
He laughs for a bit and chuckles and goes, "Were you not the owner, I would teach you how to do so. Unfortunately, your status as the owner permits me from doing anything like that."
Really? So someone who's not the owner could be taught to take advantage of the soul, but the owner cannot?
That's correct.
How odd.
He smiles a bit wider and goes, "Well, it's not as if," and he tilts his head back and forth and goes, "Let me put it to you this way. The restrictions upon me permit me from bringing any harm to the owner. Does that make sense?"
I see what you mean. Oh, by the way, is Gears in here with me?
No, Gears cannot come in.
Oh, okay.
Remember, because that's what...
Oh, right.
I'd assumed you left him outside.
Okay. I just wanted, I didn't know if my protection extended to him or not,
Right,
or
yeah.
if, like, also because he's also a demonic familiar, I was thinking, oh, maybe they're like, oh...
No, generally when two demons meet, they tear each other apart.
Oh, okay, I thought maybe they knew each other from back in the day. It's like, hey, we were in the same frat together. It was like...
And Gears may not even be demonic. He may be more of a devilish kind
Oh,
of
okay.
nature. Anyway.
Yeah, the book only calls them demonic familiar,
Right,
so I
right.
wasn't sure that they meant something specifically.
They didn't.
Anyway. Okay, so... all right then. So the soul is harmful. What can I take from here that would be useful? I'm particularly concerned about the possibility that someone might breach this room. Do you feel confident you can deal with anyone who enters here?
Yes, quite. You could take anything from the room. I encourage you to take as much as you wish. Need some gold to supplement the Doulahan's,
Oh, nothing so mundane. I was hoping for something
I mean, come
more...
now. And he, like, holds his hands out and some gold coins appear. Surely you need some, cash to float you by.
Oh, we're doing fine with cash front. In fact, the followers of Parallax have been...
stuff from the guy.
Speaking of which, you've lived a long time, I presume.
Longer than you can imagine.
What know you of Parallax?
He rolls his eyes up. Parallax. It used to be a term meaning a shift or a slight offset of something. In what way do you use it?
It is a god now, worshipped by a group of people who run this city that we are in.
In all my time of living an undead life, I have never heard of a god named Parallax.
Interesting. Have you heard of Lauer?
Well, and he smiles a bit at this, and there's an odd reaction that happens here.
Mm-hmm.
Because you notice as Azizek smiles, the mist behind him gets redder as if he was getting frustrated.
Sure.
So you get the sense that he's trying to conceal his anger from you.
Sure.
And he goes, yes.
What can you tell me of him?
He is a second-rate god. A tiny, pathetic being who preys on minuscule secrets. His followers often end up biting off more than they can chew.
Have they bothered you in some way? You seem a bit unhappy at the mention of his name.
No, not me.
but someone you care about. A friend, perhaps? A colleague?
They are a frustrating lot. The keepers can, and he uses the title of the people who follow Lauer. The keepers can be frustrating.
But are they useful? I mean, I don't know how.
And he purses his lips together. Azazex doesn't seem to want to give out a lot of information because he's scared that the more you know. But
I am super patient. I would
Okay.
stay here for a fortnight and question him nonstop.
he clenches his teeth together a bit and goes, "Let us just say that their god and my patron have had disputes in the past. It's similar to the god Netro.
Funny you bring him up. I was going to ask about him next. You see, a good friend of mine is a follower of Netro, and apparently a conflict is to come.
Is there any chance you can send him through the door? Come now."
It's a little
And
soon for that.
And he pouts a bit and
He's
goes,
kind of a good friend. And
there's nothing I couldn't grant you after giving him over to me."
You have promised many things already, but we'll get to that. Right now, he is quite useful and friendly, and his personality's really good. It's kind of hard to say no to him.
He turns his back on you and flies back over the lake,
Wait.
subtly annoyed.
Hey! We're not yet. Like I said, this is a mutual relationship. We're not good. I gave you my word that we would work on something to get you out of here at some point, and that's going to happen. But we need to trust each other. There are two other important points that I need to bring up, and I fear my time here is short this time go around. Firstly, Henslet. I presume he trapped you here in some fashion to keep you guardian of this place.
You presume correctly.
But Henslet is my friend, and I am deeply concerned that a being such as you might, once you leave, might do harm to him.
It's a fair assumption.
Yeah, because it can't be nice, he's trapped you here all this time. And I want to feel somewhat confident that I will not be the direct result of Henslet's demise. You're obviously very, very powerful, and Henslet is strong too, but I don't want to release you only to have you destroyed by him, or vice versa. So that seems like a bad outcome.
Azizek seemed to be in deep thought for a moment, as if considering his options. Perhaps you need to be asking yourself if Henslet is really the one you should be trusting here.
That question has come up too. I'm actually trying to find a way to reach him soon. He did give me instruction to come in to talk to you. So clearly, whatever his desires are, being here, he must have felt that I could be trusted with this information.
That is exactly why you need to be confident in not trusting him. A ruse such as that is a common thing among the elves. They grant you a bit of knowledge to gain your trust, and then leave what's important in the shadows.
But do you not think he would have considered the possibility that you might in some way deceive me into freeing you, causing him great harm? That seems a foolish thing to do, even for an elf.
Don't insult yourself, Dadriel. You're far more competent than that.
Oh, I would like to think so. But if you were trying to win my favor, you would say exactly that. I have lived on the streets for a long time. I may be no Jovan, but I know a thing or two of our personality. But let's not favor each other with compliments.
He floats back up to the stalagmites a bit, assuming a lofty stance against you.
I would like to ask about Artok. You might remember him. He worked for us for a bit. What happened there? I mean, my understanding is you're trapped in this room, but maybe not as much as I would like to think.
I know not the names of any beyond this room besides you and Henslet. Well, none of the current names. Of the past, I can tell you much.
Are you able to enter my mind and consider my thoughts?
If you allow me to.
It may be useful for us to share our thinking with each other.
And
At least for a moment.
He grins a bit and floats down a tad.
It will help us know each other better.
Really?
It could be a win-win for us both.
All right.
Let us have a moment.
You would allow me?
Do I have your word that you will... I don't want this to be permanent. I don't want to carry you out of the room before the...
Of course. I would never.
Although, if it would benefit you to somehow take advantage of this to use perhaps a piece of you so that you could have some experience of the outside world, you might want to leave a piece within so that you could... To show my good faith that it is my intention to see that you are not trapped here forever.
Unfortunately, splitting myself is not an option. But a willing vessel, I can inhabit that, even if you were the owner. If you'd like me to step outside for a moment, if you could allow me to use your body, I'd be more than happy to get a look at the outside world with you.
What?
Just a moment, of course. I'd go right back. And remember, I couldn't harm you as the owner.
I thought that only applied within this space here.
No, you misunderstand. As long as you own the Doulahan, I can do nothing to you.
Seems pretty risky. How does ownership actually get determined? What if, like, the followers of Parallax make the decision that I no longer own the Doulahan because they control property rights here? Or is it simply that I'm the owner because Hensley made it so?
From the way I understand it, only the previous owner can pass on the ownership. But I don't know. I wasn't responsible for creating the spell.
You don't seem that terrible. But you are also a great dark demon creature. I also sort of need you in here to protect... Because if we leave, then who's protecting the room?
But the room can protect itself. You have already seen how hard it is to get in the door.
It's true. Man, I hate to dangle this carrot and then say, no, I feel like a bad person. I'm not a bad person.
You know, if you need some assurance, you could always, maybe stand half in the door and half out of it. It's been known to work.
No.
It's similar to how one will step over it, and he stops his metaphors if he realized it was a bad idea to continue.
Yeah. You know, that sort of thing never goes well. Look, it's either all or nothing. I don't need to play with these weird games where you get half my body. And
yes, exactly. All or nothing.
That's just foolishness. It's either this can work out or it doesn't work out.
Maybe we can just try it, though. Look, if I do, take an aggressive action against you or any of your friends, you will know I cannot be trusted. It would destroy all my integrity and credibility.
It would be too late. You'll have my body. I'll be like a desiccated soul. I may be trapped in this room in your stead.
Even if I could take your body, which I cannot because you're the owner, what would I do with a 14-year-old's body? I mean, no offense. I'm sure your muscles are highly trained and toned.
Yeah,
but
I work out quite a lot.
The amount of respect I could garner or the places I could go with your body would not be as grand as, say, a more strong fighting man. You see, what I'm saying is, if I were to downplay your show of good faith, I would be depriving myself of all future opportunities. It's worth it to me to give you this chance. Give myself this chance. If only to prove that I can be worthy.
You know, I really like the way that sounds. Oh, I have one more question. Are you familiar with Sylvanas?
Then he rolls his eyes back up into his head and chortles a bit, just laughs, and the mist turns a little bit yellow, as if humor. And he's just, that callous practitioner of parlor tricks? Yes, somewhat.
Yes. It turns out he's kind of back in town, as it were.
Back in town. In my time of living before I was locked away, he was an insolent whelp, a petty practitioner who dealt with spells he couldn't understand.
You know what? There is too much to cover. It is much, much more detailed. There's only one way to get this done. Come!
Okay. So are you just gonna let him in?
Yep.
Okay. So Azazex flies up in this gust of smoke and goes...
It'll be like supernatural. Is it like Supernatural where like the smoke thing comes in your mouth?
Yes. He's like, wonderful. And he like dives down into you. Just, so he just like fills your body.
Yeah.
Just give me a will save.
Oh, this is so bad.
It's so awesome!
Why? Why did you do this? What?
10.
Oh no!
You are completely overtaken.
Sure.
So,
Oh, no!
He flies into you, and you have no control of your body at all.
Yeah.
No power of yourself. So you hit the ground like this,
Yep.
and you tilt your head up, and it like glows red for a sec, and
Yeah.
mist pours out of your nose and mouth,
Yeah.
and just like, yes. And you stand up a bit and goes. You hear his voice in your head, and you go, Dadriel, I thank you for this opportunity. What is this?
Wait.
What have you done?
Wait, I haven't done anything. What's going on?
What is the meaning of this? And then there's like a violent shaking for a minute.
What?
And then your eyes, you're still
Oh
beyond the
my
door.
gosh, I've got another part of my soul is already claimed by...
You have so many demons.
I have the slug of the keepers of Lar, and I have the symbol of like...
So
Quit-
you
quits?
feel your vision like swim a bit, like
Yeah.
shake back and forth a little bit, and then the room in front of
my
you begins
gosh.
to sway.
Yeah.
And then stepping out of one of the walls comes Garn.
Oh!
Yeah.
Who?
Just
my
your
my
mentor.
stepfather, my
whether,
mentor.
whether it's a vision or not,
Yeah.
it just Gyron comes, and rather than dressed in his impractical beggar garb,
Uh-huh.
he's dressed in this very tight-fitting like black and white armor, like tight-fitting leather black and white armor, and it's all over himself. And he's got this two strings on his belts and stuff, and they're filled with keys. There's a whole bunch of different keys just all around his belt. You have never seen Gyron look this cool. Like he just looks dominating, like very, very intimidating. And he steps out of the wall and he goes, "Release my student." And he like lifts his hand like this, and there's a shock in your head, and the vision of Gyron fades, and you just go and red mist just pours out of your mouth.
Oh, I love that supernatural stuff.
It just flies out, and as he gets thrown back up against the wall, he just goes and he hits the wall, and he goes, "Curse you, Dadriel! You only torment me like Hinslet would."
No, I'm so sorry. I had no idea what happened there.
And he as his like crawls to the edge of the thing like a bug, and crawls all the way over to the other end of the cave, and like turns his head 180 degrees around to look at you. And he's like, "Leave, leave," and like their mist like pulsates a bit and starts to like clump up and move towards you.
You cannot harm me. I am the owner.
The mist regresses a bit, and he goes, "Be gone from my presence, whelp. Be gone."
Clearly, you need some time out. But I'm not done here. I need to get something. There must be something cool that I need to take with me.
And he like hisses a bit, and then the mist dies down as you say that.
Yes.
It like subsides, and he goes, "Oh, well, what can I
Do you
do
feel
for
better? So, I have some friends. One is a follower of a natural cleric. Another is a great wizard. Well, he has a wardrobe filled with cats.
What? Say this again.
I have a friend. He has a wardrobe filled with cats.
And as it looks like flies across the water in this wave of red mist and comes right up to you, right next to your face, and he goes, "You know a friend who possesses the wardrobe?"
Oh, is the wardrobe? I just thought it was a wardrobe. It doesn't seem very assuming.
And he coughs a bit, and he goes, "No matter." And he floats back a bit, and he shuts down something of himself. Like, you feel like he was going to reveal something, and then he closed it off. He's just like, "Nope."
Hey! You were about to say something there. Come on!
And he
Come on,
smiles.
Azazax!
And he
We
smiles.
were
at
having
him
a
and
moment
goes,
there. Come on.
"What can I get for you from the Horde?"
I feel like I would like something useful for each of us. Surely Henslet has collected all manner of trinkets and baubles and treasures that would be valuable.
So you remember, in Hinslet's letter, he told you take nothing from the room.
I know.
Okay. Just want to make sure you didn't forget. So as
Oh, yeah, I was wondering.
Certainly. Magical trinkets, perhaps?
Yes, exactly so.
Something to expand your fighting prowess and give you virility.
Of a nature appropriate to the type of work that we do. Appropriate for one who might possess the wardrobe, or one who might commune with a god, or one who might dwell in the shadowy places.
The Horde is vast. I will see what I can do. And he, sinks down back into the pool.
And
Just-
something unassuming, something that would not be automatically
Yes,
considered to be
yes.
evil.
So,
Something new, something blue, something
Yes.
old.
He dives back
Something
down into
borrowed.
the pool, and a few moments go by, like a few beats, and he comes floating back up, and his head appears in the water first, and then he lifts it up, and lifting out of the water, you can see in one hand he's got a symbol of Netro
Ooh.
in one hand, and It's even more ornate than the dwarven one you've seen before. In fact, because this one is made entirely out of greenish jade.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's formed entirely out of that. And he floats that up above the mist and scowls at it as he looks at it, as if it disgusts him. And he throws it onto the shore.
Oh, perfect.
And then
Children will love this.
And
And
then-
Henslet had an ornate piece of metal.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
awesome.
pulling out of the water before he flips this black cloak out of the water and flicks it back like this, and it catches some of the black water against it, and he throws that on the shore as well. And then he dives down a bit and goes, "A moment. I think I have just the thing for the owner of your wardrobe." And he digs
thought
down
you might-
beneath the water for a minute,
It's like wood polish.
and then after a few more minutes, he comes back up and he comes out of the water and he pulls out from one of his pockets this ornate red scarf.
Oh, it had to be a red scarf.
And just lays it floating down, and he goes, "I believe these three items are what you seek.
Yes, they
A
are
sim-
perfect.
A symbol of your cleric friend's god, more ornate and more better designed than anything I'm sure you've come across. A cloak that belonged to a famous thief far back in the ages of renown by the name of Quinn Carver. And of course, last but not least, the red scarf."
Brilliant. I can just tell from looking at these that my friends will not be able to resist.
He purposely did not give any information about the red scarf.
I'm very pleased. I think this is exactly what we're looking for. And as I said, I would not forget my word. I apologize for that earlier misunderstanding. Once I learn more about what it is about my mentor and Henslet's work, I will continue to see what I can do to free you so that you will receive the justice that you are so richly deserving. Until then, however, as I promised, I may have some guests visiting soon. And I trust you to act as you ought to in such delicate circumstances.
How kind of you.
We'll talk again soon.
And he grins, and you can see that he's happy with how that transpired, but there is a palpable sense of frustration
Sure.
behind his
I know it didn't work out,
face.
but you know
No,
what?
it's not just from the fact that that didn't work out. It's almost like you represent it's almost as if, like, he was it's almost as if he was, what is it? Sisyphus? The guy who has to push the boulder up the hill.
Yeah, Sisyphus.
Okay, Sisyphus.
Yeah.
It's almost as if he were Sisyphus and you were the boulder.
Oh, that every time
Yeah.
he thinks he's got it.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. I leave the room.
Carrying the objects with you?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So
We all die.
you leave the room, and as you cross the threshold carrying the objects with you,
Mhm.
you
Why?
look back and forth on the doorway, and some of the runes on the doorway just go and burn off. Like at certain
Oh.
parts. Just as if the spell holding whatever is in there inside got weaker.
I
And then the
see.
door shuts and just...
Excellent.
And now that you're outside,
Yeah.
looking at the items, you notice they're entirely mundane now.
Oh,
The jade
interesting.
symbol as before has just turned into this stone triangle.
Hmm.
The cloak is just a tattered rag, and the scarf itself is just a moth-eaten red woolen scarf.
Huh. I wonder if the demon understood that this would happen. Huh. It's interesting because either the magic of the entire room, because basically the treasure hoard is vast, right?
Mhm.
Which means whatever this is represents just the smallest percentage of the seal. So if, like, I would have to carry the whole hoard to break the spell. The other thing is that maybe the appearances are. I'll wait until Merek wakes up because I'm going to explain to him something about what's going on. I'm not going to talk about the demon thing because I think they'll freak out. But
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I think their interest would be piqued because this is still a symbol of Metro. It's just made of mundane stone.
Okay.
And this is a moth-eaten scarf. But you know what? I think my friends would be interested in the part of the story I have to tell them. By the way, during the time that the demon was somewhat melded with me, do you think it picked up any information from the story I wanted him to know, or vice versa?
What did you want him to know?
That whole story about Savannah's.
Oh, if it did, it didn't show it.
Okay. Did I pick anything up from it?
No. All you saw was red mist and black water.
Too bad. All right.